Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. I just got off work. I'm kind of like calming down, and I actually couldn't wait to do this fucking video. I just heard interview. I don't know what the heck that means, but maybe you're waiting to do like an interview or something with somebody, or I don't know, but let me tell you, I can feel the energy. Had a pretty good day at work today. I hope you had a good day. It was nice and slow. I just kind of like got to just chill on a Monday, which was nice. Let's see. I'm excited to do this reading today. Honestly, I get excited to do everybody's reading. And then I just have no idea how it's going to turn out. And I'm like, really? You were that excited to do that reading? But yeah, like, I mean, I'm a narc. I narc on people all the time. I've always been a whistleblower my whole life, man. If somebody does something, I've always been like, you want to know who really did it? That's that person right there. Okay? Like, everybody's, I find a lot of people are scared to tell people the truth. They're scared to be a narc. They're scared to call people out. And honestly, I got the fear like basically beat out of me my whole life. So like, I don't get scared by people as much. Like, people don't scare me as much as what I think they do sometimes. Like, I think that I have too much power sometimes when I'm dealing with people. And then I'll give people too much power as well sometimes. Like, well, that person can do something for sure. And it's like, I think at any point in time, anybody could do anything to you. It really doesn't matter. People snap. Like, my sister read this news report that this man oh my God. Okay. So this man was traveling from Ontario to British Columbia, and he got this voice in his head all of a sudden that told him to kill a passenger on the bus. And because spirit, well, I don't know. Actually, I think the man who was killed was traveling to British Columbia. This happened in Ontario though. And this guy ate him. He heard to kill him all of a sudden in his head. And because, I swear to God, because the universe wanted this man dead that bad, that the man that they got to do it, the schizophrenic man that they got to do it on the bus, the voices told him all of a sudden to start eating the body. And so he started eating it, and they pulled over, and the cops came and everything. And he was classified as like legally insane, and went to a psychiatric ward instead, and is now like out, because there was nothing in this man's history that said he was violent. There was nothing about this man's history that said, okay, he's a serial killer, or he's a cannibal and he's going to go onto this bus and he's going to eat this man. But something told him to kill this man, and he did it, and then he got let off. So like, when we talk about, like, when I talk about schizophrenia, like when I talk about the voices that I hear, because it's channeling is a voice. Like, you're listening technically to your soul's voice, right? So you have to be schizophrenic. Like, and I know that it's a scary word, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that suffer from schizophrenia in like a different way, right? But there's also people who channel it and use it to their advantage. As opposed to, because schizophrenia, like, really what it is it's like voices, and it drives people crazy. But if you use those voices and you start listening to those voices, and then you start differentiating what your voice is versus their voice, you can start to figure out who's the one talking to you. Right. And it still takes me a while to figure out if it's me talking to myself, or it's somebody trying to fuck with me, or is there a ghost around me that's talking to me right now and they're fucking with me, because, I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. Like, I'm paranoid about everything because I can hear people's thoughts, and people won't express their thoughts. Right. They lie about their thoughts. Okay. So anyways, that was like, okay, I thought it was at 7 minutes. I was like, that was a little bit of an intro. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but now getting into the reading. From the looks of it, someone has been tricking you. Okay? Making you believe that something was over when it wasn't. Okay? And with fertility, I'm almost thinking like maybe somebody's parents out there, like my parents were always like, once you turn 18, you're an adult. We don't have to care about you anymore. Once you're 18, because once I turned 18, my father didn't have to pay child support anymore. And I actually dated this guy who, once him and his baby mama separated, he actually calculated how many payments that he had to make to her until his kid turned 18. I stopped talking to him after that. Like, child support isn't for the parent. It's for the child. Child support. Okay? But my father thought that the child support was going to his ex-wife, who was already married to somebody else. So he took child support out on my sister and I our whole lives. It was always like, well, I'm paying for this with your mother, so I'm not going to buy you this. Like, he refused to buy us clothes. He refused to engage in sports or buy us cleats or, you know, basketball gear or baseball gear, whatever my sister and I needed. You know, he'd be like, well, your mother has to deal with that. Your mother has to pay for that. I pay her child support. Like, what else am I doing my money for? And the thing is that the reason why he was so pissed off about the child support was because his wife at the time wasn't getting enough money from him. So he knew that his next wife was making more money than him, and he was dishing out all this money to his ex-wife to pay for kids that he didn't want, right? So I almost feel like maybe somebody's like going by the book, you know, like when you turn 18, you're not our responsibility anymore. When you turn 16, you can make your own decisions. I'm not your mother anymore. Like there's somebody's tricking you, and they're tricking you into believing that their job is done. That's what I'm getting. And their job is not done. Okay? Maybe that's why I was talking about the guy who ate the guy on the fucking, I think it was on a Greyhound. Oh my God, you should look that up. Man eats man on Greyhound bus. You'll find the article that my sister read. And it's like, it's almost like, because the man that he ate, okay, let's just call him Greg. The man that he ate, Greg, who was traveling to BC, whatever reason why he was traveling, it was like this, I think it was an Asian man or a Korean man or something like that. I mean, it doesn't matter, but let's just call him Pablo. Okay. When Pablo started hearing the thoughts to eat this man, then maybe Greg thought his job was over and he was going to take his wrath somewhere else. Right? We don't know who the person was, and Pablo never met him. So why did all of a sudden Pablo start hearing, you need to end this man's life? Same with whoever you're dealing with here, which is like book in reverse. They've read something, okay, and they've gone by this book, this code of ethics, okay, but it's in reverse, which means it's okay. You have to be very careful with reading. Okay, especially reading other people's books, other people's manuscripts, other people's words, okay? When you're reading other people's words, that person's voice can get into your head. There's a Will Ferrell movie that has that kind of Stranger Than Fiction, I think it's called, where he's got that voice and he's actually, it's the author's voice that he's hearing in his head. Okay? You have to be very careful with the things that you read, the things that you watch, the things that you introduce into your life. Because the way these people see it is how this was written is exactly how it is. Funny enough, now this is coming to me. I was watching this interview last night with Jelly Roll. He was talking about Jesus. And he was like, if people don't start acknowledging who Jesus really was, we're never going to get out of this, because the way that he sees it is Jesus was like a thug. He's like, if Jesus was here now, he would be on a Harley in a gang, because technically him and his little posse he was hanging out with, his disciples, were his gang. Jesus protected prostitutes and whores. Jesus wasn't a good guy. Okay. His stories are massively manipulated to make people think that he's a good guy when really he was a thug. Okay. He was an asshole, but he also helped people in ways that normal people would just walk by them and say, ugh, right? Jesus was kind of like, hey, you're gross. Come walk with me, right? Which is kind of like majority of how a lot of us middle class, lower class people are. We don't really see anybody else as ugh, because we're like, well, we've been there. Well, I've been there. Like Jelly Roll, I didn't even know. He lived in his car for a while. I lived in my car. My sister lived in my car. Like, you know, like we've weathered. We're weathered. We're people who have fucking lived. We're not this upper class. I've had a fucking queen size bed since I was 2 years old, rocking some fucking Gucci shit. Like, no, man. Like, my parents were like, you can change your own diaper and fucking feed yourself. Okay. Like, my parents were fucking brutal. They were alcoholics. They didn't give a shit about us. And when they weren't drinking, they were fucking each other and completely neglecting their kids. Okay. So my parents, their code of ethics, they went off of their parents, which they're like my father's parents were brutal. They were massively strict. They were assholes, right? Nobody liked them. And my dad is a prick. He's a pathological liar. He treats us like we're assholes. He treats us like we're kids, just like his parents treated him. But his parents treated him a little bit better as he aged because he had children and got married. Because I don't have children and I didn't get married, my parents still see me as a fucking 10-year-old little girl. Though they expect me to pay my own rent, take care of myself, pay my own bills, and never fucking call them for anything. But they call me a child because I haven't had children. You've got to understand, my path didn't involve children. And I would never fucking birth a child here. Are you fucking kidding me? And I'm not saying that anybody should have went against their I'm not saying anything. I'm saying my personal shit, I would never bring a fucking child onto this earth. Are you kidding me? With what I've dealt with, I would never let that child leave my fucking side. It's terrifying to me to actually think to have a child because I would never want it to leave my side because I don't trust anybody. But you know who I trust? Me. You know who I trust? My sister. You know who I trust? My car. That's about it. I don't have human trust anymore because humans have never pulled through for me. Okay? So the fact that these people are going by this code of ethics that they've heard through the grapevine and going, that's the way that this is. And fuck you. You think you can break the rules? Guess what? Slaughterhouse, right? It's like, who are these people? Like, a little bit more of what I'm getting from it is almost like, I almost feel like, you know how he tricks the little kids, right? He makes them seem like he is a clown and clowns are funny and they're happy and they're not going to do anything. They're not going to hurt you. So come, trust me, you know? And these people, this is all about fertility. Like, this is like this, I feel like this is where you come from. Okay. Like, this is where you come from. Their mass manipulation stems so far that when they looked at you, you believed that they were there to help you. And what they did was try to harm you. Because this book that they're reading, okay, it says that their job is done. When anybody knows, anybody that's a parent, your job's not done until you're dead. Or that parent is dead, or that child is dead. Your job isn't done until literally, your job is not done until that kid is dead. Doesn't matter how long it takes for that kid to die. Doesn't matter if you're already dead. Guess what, bitch? You're coming back as a spirit. And you're protecting those kids because you put them here. It's your fucking job. It's nobody else's job, right? That's the thing is like, you know, when people with like landlords or like, you know, something breaks down in their house and like, well, it's not my fault. Well, you did it. You bought the house. It's your responsibility. It doesn't matter if you did the deed and you broke something. You're responsible for it. Same as children. It doesn't matter if you don't like them. It doesn't matter if you put them up for adoption. It doesn't matter if you leave them. It doesn't matter if you kill them. You are responsible for them, which means you're going to be responsible for them until the day that they die. Whether or not you believe it or you don't believe it, it doesn't fucking matter, right? It's all about, I mean, really, honestly, when you consciously think about it, do you think that we would have lived in a world that would have let vulnerable people be left alone? There's no way. There's absolutely no fucking way. We're not in hell. So, but people have made it hell, right? Because they're so pissed off with their life and the choices that they chose to make. Doesn't matter what their parent did. Doesn't matter how many things their parent taught them. Guess what? You have your own fucking frame of mind. You have your own opinion. And if they want to go by the book that once you turn 18 or once you turn 16, you're a child, you're an adult now, you're no longer a child. Well, if you're an adult, then you get your own fucking life. And they want to sit there and they want to say that you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, you just told me I was an adult. So why are you still telling me what I can and cannot do? I'm an adult, right? Well, back the fuck off, right? It's like somebody tricked you. It's like they tricked you into believing, okay, our job is done. We don't got to do our job anymore. But yet they're still telling you what to do and they're still hurting you. But if it's harvest season and you've got to go by the code of ethic, you got to go by the book. They're not even fucking going by the book. Get what I mean? That's why I'm like, who are these people? They're hiding. Wow, I've never pulled this Jason card before, I don't think, on the channel. I mean, I haven't had these cards for long, but look at Jason's card. It's a fucking wicked card. Oh, Chris, is that Crystal Lake? It's like these people, okay, have been like, I want to say emotionless, okay? They really were not the kind of people that you can say, man, when you tug at that person's heartstring, they unravel. That is not these people at all, okay? These people are very like, they're only, that's all I can hear is they go by the book. And that is so scary because I don't know what book they're talking about. And why the fuck are they going off of a book? That's what scares me the most, is like, because isn't Jason controlled by his mother, right? Which I believe is the person below him there. So his mother's the one. Can you imagine? I've never seen a Jason ever. Like, I've never seen a Friday the 13th. Like, isn't that sad? Wait. All of a sudden, my spirit's telling me that I have seen a Friday the 13th before. It was all, yeah, okay, no, I have seen one, but I've only seen one, and it was definitely old, like probably from the 70s or the 80s. But I don't think it was the first one. I think maybe it was the first one. These kids, they go off in a bus, or they go off in a van. Two vans leave, and then the camp gets left alone. I don't know which one that is, but that's the one I saw. This guy gets in a van and goes off with the girl, and then, or they go to town. Oh, the campers are there? I don't know. Okay, but I have seen one. I definitely have seen one. So what I'm thinking is that these people were, I think, systematically controlled by this book. So whatever this book opened up for them, it controlled them from your birth. And it kept them. It's almost like this book kept your parents emotionally unattached from you. Because they were like, well, it says in the book. Well, it says in the book. Well, it says in the book. And then somebody just stopped using all emotion altogether because they were like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to feel sorry for my child. I'll just read the book. And the book says your child needs to learn to do it on their own. Well, they need to learn to do it on their own then. And it's like, oh my God. And the thing is this trickster, okay, these parents that were tricked into this by this book, okay, I can't get this King Kong card. I'm like, I can hear what they're saying to me, but like, I can't say it out loud. I can't decipher the message on this card. It's driving me crazy. Okay. What I'm getting is, they didn't listen. Okay. You know, in King Kong, the director, A short fat guy. Tenacious D, whatever the heck his name, that guy's name. So he's the director, and he is about to be arrested. Okay. He flees New York. He gets this crew to go to Skull Island. Okay. And he's lying about the whole thing. He doesn't have any money. He's out of money. He's out of luck, basically. And he goes anyways. And then they find Kong. And then they trap Kong, bring him back to New York to be in a Broadway show just for them. He breaks free and they kill him. Because this is the part where it's like where he is in the back of the building. That's the part of the movie where he's broken free, right? And he takes her back and then she basically saves his life again, right? But then he gets killed. But she calms him down. So it's almost like what they did, okay, by believing this book so much, what they did was, I think these people were about to be arrested for something. They were about to be removed, taken out. Like they weren't allowed to do this anymore. And they got around the law somehow. Okay. And by going around the law, they figured, like, I think these people have been making money off of you. Okay. And it's getting to the point where your soul, has to break free. It has to get away from these people because it is evident that these people are just controlled by something that they don't even understand. Okay. And now they've gone so far as to lock you up when you're a wild animal. They put you on fucking Broadway. Like these people, you know, I don't know if somebody was like, did maybe like acting classes as a kid or something like that. And then your parents like just started using you for that money. You know, a lot of childhood actors, when they grow up, you know, they do the interviews and they say, well, my parents were broke and my mom was broke. And so I took this role and then I was abused, but I know my mom needed money. So I kept working. And, you know, like sometimes, you know, parents will make their kids work and then their kids get so traumatized by getting put into something that they're not supposed to because they weren't supposed to be there. So I almost feel like it's almost like somebody's parents, they like, and it might not be in this dimension, it might be in another dimension, but it's like they put you on the stage and went, dance around, monkey, make us happy. Like, I'm sorry. That's not my responsibility. And now I just heard you're going to get arrested. And that's the thing. Is when people break the law, okay, if they don't get caught in 3D, they think it's over. Right? They think they got their shit. They think they're so fucking slick, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, you might have made it through 3D, you retard, but doesn't mean you're going to make it through 5D. Doesn't mean you're going to make it through 6D. Does not mean you're going to make it through that 9th dimension, you little fucker, right? Like just because you had the ability to escape the law, that's just one dimension out of what possibly, honestly, could be hundreds. So, these idiots that thought, let's trust a book over the truth and our own frame of minds, you know, the things that we've got up here, so we can learn things. It's like, man, these people are going to get a serious eye-opener very, very, very soon. And I can see burning. Like, I don't know if maybe like their house is going to burn down and it's going to burn the book. or you're going to go to their house and burn this book. Like, it's like somebody knows this book I'm talking about that their parents have literally glued themselves to. And it's awful. Okay. It is awful. It is not what people are supposed to be doing with their lives. So 25 minutes. I think we're going to call it a wrap. I think that's a wrap. Yeah, I'd say so. I don't really have much on my stomach, so I'm kind of nauseous, and I'm gonna maybe try to eat, and I'm gonna put on a movie and fucking KO for about 40 hours straight. I'm pretty excited about that. I need to take a couple days off. So, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to do any tarot readings. I personally have no idea what it means. I think sometimes I just have to relax, and that's exactly what I'm going to go and do because I'm super exhausted. So I'm just going to go and relax, and I'm glad that this reading came up. For many of reasons, like just for the simple fact of, it's like, now that somebody got busted using some like really, look at how big the bags under my eyes look. That's just my bones. That's my bones. Looks like I have huge bags. Oh well. I have no idea what I was going to say there. I totally just cut myself off, but that's good. I didn't need to say it. Private readings, whitneymoonshine@gmail.com. Or just your life emails can also go to that email address. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes, and like, I had a really good day at work today, like I said, and this was like a really necessary reading, and I still feel like happy that I was like able to do it. So, I mean, thank you for all this, and thanks for being here, and thanks for all the new subscribers, and I really hope that this channel, like, poof, flies off the handles really soon, because I really think it's going to, and I really think that we deserve it, and people deserve to see what we're doing over here, because we're doing something huge. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me and smoking some weed with me and chilling with me. Probably some readings tomorrow, like I said, but I don't really know. I haven't decided. If I don't do any tomorrow, I'll do some the next day, but you know me, I'm pretty obsessed with doing this, so I'll most likely do it tomorrow. But if I don't, I'm sorry. I will continue soon. So peace out. Have a good one. Word to your mothers.